Hey to the hey, it's your good buddy and occasional host, Heath, here to bring you another episode of TOMTalks. Look, fellas, I'm not going to mince words with the fancy cast intros that I normally do today, okay? We just don't have time for it. There's too much good stuff we've got to discuss, okay? So, with me today, as always, is my TOMTalks sidekick, Adam.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Alright, I know you're in a good mood because we listened to a whole set of fish earlier, but don't you dare start talking about that.
I won't. Don't worry.
I'm also joined by Josh and John, the J Squad themselves. How are you fellas?
Hey, I'm good.
Doing well.
Good. So, it's December. You know what that means? Holidays are coming up. I think we have to at least quickly have the obligatory what are you doing for the holidays conversation. Any big plans, guys, or just some small get-togethers with the fam kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a family affair, as Sly would say.
He would.
Yeah, no, I don't really have too much planned. Just a little bit of time off of work. Sister's coming to town, in from California, so that'll be nice.
Family
nice.
affair and empty wallet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's truth.
But yeah, just small family get together, you know.
I'm actually doing half the amount of stuff I usually do for Christmas. My grandma is kind of one side of my family. It centers around her. And she's going to be in the mountains for the holidays and stuff. So we're just going to do my mom's thing.
Cool. That'll make it kind of easier on you, I think.
Cheaper for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, far less stressful.
I am going to this light festival this weekend. It's called Luna Fête, and it's this thing that New Orleans does where downtown they like set up all these light focused art installations like in the street, you know, and you walk through it all and stuff like that. And they do it every around Christmas time, but it's not really Christmas themed lights, you know what I mean? Like it's artistic light sculptures, and then they do the imaging like on the building to where they like distort the way the building looks, you know, the projection.
Oh, nice.
Imaging.
Yeah,
It's fun. It's cool. Looking forward to that.
That sounds super cool, man. I'd go.
See, all we've got down here is the Lewis lights, which is literally just a bunch of wood cutouts in somebody's yard with, you know, like Christmas lights strung around them.
We all could come
Or
down
the
here
old,
and see
like-
it.
Or like the old dead tree with a bunch of like different colored bottles on the branches. You know?
Yeah. Bottle tree.
Or like the painted wheel rims, you know?
Yeah, we host one of those at our house every year. All right, so, well, from the STF crew to you and your loved ones, happy holidays, everybody. I hope you all get the presents you want, or at least ones that are really, really super duper cool. So the Starfinder community recently got a cool new present in the form of the Character Operations Manual, and that, my friends, is what we're here to talk about today. I, for one, couldn't be more excited. There's new classes, racial features, themes, feats, spells, gear, starship roles, and more. And I just want to know, my dear friends and fellow podcasters, are you guys as absolutely pumped as I am about the Character Operations Manual?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was looking forward to it from whenever they announced it, you know, I was like, cool, you know, we definitely need some new classes. And I think for the longest time, that's what we thought that the book was just 3 new classes, right? And when, you know, as it got closer and they were revealing some more of the stuff that was coming with it, and then we got it in our hands, like, holy shit, y'all, this just blew up the game, completed it even, you know?
Flip the script.
So to your point, Adam, that's kind of been my assessment this whole time. Because, you know, in preparing for this TOMTalks, I've been just nose deep in the Character Operations Manual for like a week now.
Oh, wait, we're not doing the Packed Worlds book?
No, we're not.
Man, I was told it was supposed to be
We could do a different show on that, but it'd be way late. But I really do feel like this is not so much as a supplementary book as it is completing the game that we know and love.
Yeah.
The things that were missing that you could reasonably complain about, this book replaces it. Or not replaces it, fills in that
If I can
void.
interject just real quick. I mean, okay, so I've got all the books. I've got all the PDFs. And if Paizo were to like come out with another book to like just put like to put together the character operations manual with the core rulebook, I'd buy that too. Okay.
So my thing is, I think if someone were to start, like, get the idea today that they want for sure to play Starfinder, and they were asking my opinion, what books should they buy? I would say I'd have two answers. If you just want the rough and dirty, but you want all the options for your character creation, buy the core rulebook and buy the character operations manual. But if you want a well-rounded experience as far as additional lore and settings, add in the Pact Worlds. But you shouldn't need more than those three books. And really, if you just had the core rulebook and the character operations manual, you'll be fucking fine for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Done.
All right. So we do have a lot to cover in this episode. So let's jump right into probably the biggest news, the biggest draw of the character operations manual, the new classes. Mm-hmm. So I assigned each of you one class to discuss today, to paint a word picture for the listeners. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll a die to see who gets to start.
Okay.
Okay? 1 is John, 2 is Adam, 3 is Josh.
You have a three-sided die?
No, I have a 4, though.
A 4, if we roll a 4, you have to do all three of them.
I rolled a 3. So it's Josh.
All right.
So what class do you have for us?
So I assigned, well, I wouldn't really assign it. I picked it was because I thought it was cool, the biohacker. Because I just thought it was like the idea of having this character that's walking around kind of like an alchemist, but like a science fiction version of it. Walking around, mixing concoctions and shit, and then loading them into darts or into injection weapons to, either buff their friendlies or their teammates or to debuff enemies or give them negative conditions was just really freaking cool. I mean, they start out with a proficiency in injection weapons, regardless of what type of weapon it is. So you could have a level 1 biohacker that has one of the new added in the character operations manual, an injection sniper rifle from level 1. And without having to take any extra feats or anything to be able to use it. Let's see, they've got a bunch of different, they kind of differentiate themselves from other, or within that class through their different fields of study that they take at first, 7th, and 13th level. And they range from genetics to immunology to neurochemistry, pharmacology, and I think toxicology.
So is that kind of their spec?
Sort of. It gives them, that determines what their biohacks can do. Like they've got basic boosters and inhibitors, that as well as ones that are given through their field of study. So like say genetics, you can give a friendly or a creature, it doesn't have to be a friendly, through either a manual injection, like stick a needle in them, or shoot them with an injection weapon with that loaded into it. Give them blind sense, or to give vulnerability to an energy type of your choice if you use it as an inhibitor. So you can use your biohacks one time per day plus your primary skill modifier or key ability score modifier, which is probably going to be intelligence. I think you can pick intelligence or will maybe, but I'm not 100%
Yeah, I think
certain.
it's a wisdom or intelligence based on what you want.
Yeah, wisdom, sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm currently playing a level 1 biohacker in a different Starfinder campaign. So it's also really cool that you have a micro lab that you can use to identify a creature. If it's living, use life science. If it's unliving, I guess if it's died or if it's actually undead, as a movement action within range of your micro lab, which starts at 60 feet and I think can be upgraded. And the die roll is always treated as a 20. So you take that, plus like my level 1 biohacker has plus 10 to life science. So every time I want to identify a creature as a move action, I roll a 30.
Oh, so that's the thing. That's the thing is you got to actually spend a move action instead of because normally knowledge checks you can just do kind of as a free action, but you use up a move action and you get a guaranteed, I know everything about this creature.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a very valuable spending of a move action, though.
I think so. Yeah. That's a great economy. I mean, a move action. Once you're kind of where you want to be, screw it.
Yeah,
I'm going to figure out
a range
what
of
we're
60
fighting.
feet too.
And I think that's really cool. like flavor for the biohacker too. Like it's an interesting type of support to be like, hey, we got a guy here that can help us pinpoint the weaknesses of everything we fight. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As well as help inform the biohacker itself as to what type of inhibitors it may want to use.
Right.
Like if you tell it's got a high AC, you can, as a basic inhibitor, give it a -2 AC. Or if you know that it's got like a tough hide and has damage reduction, you can reduce that by 5 instead.
Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool,
Yeah.
and complicated, like in a good way. Like
I
the
would
fact
think,
that you're not bored and just sitting around and identifying creatures.
right. And I think biohacker is probably the most complicated of the new classes.
Yes.
So I do think it's interesting because when I first heard about biohacker, I just assumed full intelligence class, but you can also be wisdom. So. Like that's a pretty interesting take on that if you really wanted to go wisdom and like maybe multi-class into something else that used wisdom, like that's available to you. And like that's kind of a theme that's going to continue to run through our assessment of the character operations manual, is just getting more and more options that you didn't realize you were missing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and on top of that, like they make for a hell of like a combat medic type thing. Like I've built mine, even at level 1, to be able to, I think, treat deadly wounds as a standard action. Or no, it's 1 minute instead of 10 minutes, I think.
Oh, right. So you can. Well, no, I think it does bring it down to an action. Either way, you're right. Like you get it like creates this. It's an interesting take on the battle medic too, because not only are you there like helping your allies, but you have all these things that you can do to debuff too. It's a real buff debuff type class,
Well, yeah, and like the notion of like shooting enemies from range with like, injection darts and stuff like that to debuff them is really, really fun to me. And like this book in general, like because the biohacker exists, like I was looking through the equipment section, and there's so many more injection based weapons now.
Right, like it gave them like a whole table of weapons to choose from, to interact with that injection feature that they get. Right.
I think as far as a party outlook in any adventure path, a biohacker is something that would not have any kind of overlap with any other character.
They're pretty unique.
Party. Yeah, exactly. So they're there to provide that support.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I detect just like the tiniest smidge of jealousy on the part of John over here, because he's.
Not at all.
I know he's dealt with like just like skill overlap and stuff like that.
You talked about before.
Absolutely,
mechanic overlap. Frustrated.
There
you
was
a
a conundrum, absolutely.
But I think you figured out too a little bit more how to lean into technomancer side of stuff,
exactly,
over the course of the game. Yeah.
Biohacker
is cool though, man. I would love to play a biohacker.
Yeah. Well, what little I have played of one, like I really enjoyed it. It's super super cool, and I'm very much looking forward to continuing and seeing how that character grows. Given time.
So one thing I think is interesting is that because you have like different schools of medicine or whatever that kind of to some degree represent a spec, like I think the first time again that I heard about a biohacker, I was like, okay, well that's going to lead into like a, disgraced medical doctor kind of trope, but there's a lot of different ways to do it. You can be like a geneticist, you can be a toxicologist, like,
and it gives you all that to like, mechanically to help you flavor it in different unique ways too. So it's cool. What type of study is your biohacker, Josh?
Mine is his first field of study, only one he has right now, is pharmacology.
So you're getting into drugs.
You get a booster that gives immunity to bleeding or stops bleeding if somebody is currently bleeding.
That's pretty useful.
Yeah. And also an inhibitor that I can use on other creatures to makes the creature encumbered and also is entangled if it fails a fortitude save. So it's encumbered no matter what. And if it fails a fort save, it's entangled too.
Wow.
That's crazy. It just encumbers somebody.
Yeah.
It just
out
makes
the
your
gate.
blood heavy.
Makes you all sluggish.
Dude, do you realize how bad that would fuck up like a titanium mic? You know,
Oh,
like
you'd be screwed, man. Oh my gosh, you'd be in trouble there.
too heavy, man, to begin with. You know,
And then, like a lot of the other classes, you've also got theorems, which would be sort of like say the mechanic tricks. You know,
Yeah, kind of your
things that
class
can kind of help.
feats.
Yeah, class features. And those, again, stick with the mostly medical type theme. Probably my favorite that I saw from the list is Treat Condition. You can get it at level 2. And it allows you to remove Shaken, Sickened, or Staggered as a standard action.
oh shit.
Gosh, dude.
Yeah. Sorry. It allows you to remove the effects of it for a certain number of rounds.
Yeah,
Okay,
you'll
so you
still-
still have the condition, but you
you
can stabilize the condition for a second. That's fucking cool, dude. Biohacker is a good addition to any party, I think. I think every party would be glad to have that guy there. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome.
That's really interesting that you can choose to like treat the symptoms, not the disease kind of thing. You know?
Well,
that's
and
awesome.
it fits into that like combat medic type role.
Well, and it's pharmacology, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Just dosing people up, you know?
Yeah. Just you can't cure the problem because then they won't buy more drugs, you know?
You need to have a reason for him to stick around, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's his money, you know? Whatever that currency might be, whether it be just remaining in the party, like that's how he's got to do it, you know?
Right.
Well, Biohacker sounds like a really cool class. Like, I really didn't know much about it. I've talked a little bit with a friend of mine about it, who was interested in it, but I really didn't know very much. And I intentionally kind of, because I knew I was going to do this episode, I read almost everything in the character operations manual other than, like, getting super invested in what the new classes were. Even the Witch Warper, which I'm interested in making, and the Vanguard, I read, like, you know, the level 1, 2, and 3 kind of stuff, and then was like, all right, I don't want to know what they do after that, you know?
Why? Because we're going to tell you, right? For
well,
this
yeah.
show. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. So, is that, do you got anything else you want to share with us about Biohacker, or?
Yeah, they've got some basic boosters, and stop me if I've already said this, but that you can increase a creature's AC by +1, give them +2 to skill checks, or increase their movement speed by 10 feet, which lasts for 4 rounds.
That's very cool.
And then in basic inhibitors, these are what all biohackers get, is -2 AC.
Yeah. I think you told us
I did say this.
inhibitors, but not the boosters.
Yeah.
It's fine. You have a head cold, and
I do.
You need a biohacker in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
If I have one.
Man, I did not expect the irony of that the fucking biohacker doctor guy comes in with a head cold.
Man, I am sitting here trying to biohack myself with a hot toddy, so.
Hell yeah.
Good luck, buddy. Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
So I've got to ask before we move on to the next class. I've noticed recently, you know, you're rocking the stash. I don't know if you guys look too much into the camera here, but I'm rocking a pretty wicked stash myself. Yep. Mm-hmm. Does your character have a wicked ass stash?
No, he does not.
No. Okay.
No.
Color me surprised.
Fell might concentrate really hard and try and grow one.
Yeah. So we've got 2 more classes, and I want to go to Adam.
All right.
And tell me about the class that you researched.
I did. I looked into Witch Warper. It's a pretty interesting class. I mean, so it's a full caster, charisma-based caster. Okay. And listen, I'm just going to read this overview because there's a word in this overview that we have to talk about.
I've been waiting on this.
Yeah. Okay, so the overview for the Witch Warper is most people believe that reality is limited to their physical surroundings. You know the truth, that everything around you is merely a thin veil draped across the infinite tapestry of existence. Your reality is, and here's the word, palimpsest, with all possible worlds and all alternate existences at your disposal. Through your magic and force of personality. You can peer into these timelines and pull from them as you see fit, using their dimensional echoes to twist and reshape your own world. So that's like the overview, but can we just take a second and talk about palimpsest?
Look, I'm a step ahead of you, my guy, because I will say, me and Zach had a field day with this word the other day when we were first looking at the Witch Warper. And we looked it up because, like, I won't lie, neither of us knew what the fucking word palimpsest meant.
Why would you?
Yeah,
well, what do you mean? I mean, you don't use it in your active lexicon?
Yeah, right? No, the thing is, I guarantee you there was like 2% of the Starfinder population that read that and was like, you guys are my fucking dogs. I've been squirreling that word away forever. But the word palimpsest means a scroll or a piece of paper or something like that upon which things were written and then erased and then rewritten upon, but you can see the traces of the old writing.
So it's like a traditional character
Archimedes
sheet
text
then.
or something like that.
Yeah, like a traditional character sheet. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Josh. It is.
I like that.
Indeed.
That's a good one.
That would be a perfect example of a palimpsest.
Yeah, it's actually a really old word, and
Get it right.
a lot of our best, recorded interpretations of ancient philosophers, whether they be Greek, Roman, Egyptian, whatever, were actually found on palimpsests. Because me and Zach, I said, did some fucking research.
Yeah.
Because this word, really kicked off something special in our English major brains.
I think that it it's chosen for a very specific reason and is very apt to be used in a description of the Witch Warper, because that's what you're doing. You're erasing a reality, putting a new reality on top of it, but you can still see the old reality that was there. I think it's pretty clever use of a big word. Kudos,
Very
Paizo.
apropos.
I guess you guys have some intelligent people working at your company.
Well, it's not only a very intelligent use of a very upper level word, but it's a really good way of like embodying the whole class in a single word.
Right.
Because it is very cool. I mean, like even your level 1 stuff, because like I said, I only looked into the like level 1 and 2 stuff.
I'll get to it.
Okay.
We just had to stop on palimpsest. I mean, that'll I think should hang anybody up. A word like that, if you don't know what it is, you need to stop and go look it up, because you'll find something interesting.
I can't
That's
wait to
one
see.
word you'll never forget.
Yeah.
It's now in your dictionary. In your
Well,
word bank,
I can't wait to see how much that word explodes in the TTRPG community because of this book. Like, people are going to be casually dropping palimpsest into conversations, and it's going to be like, you fucking douchebag, but I feel you.
All right. So Witch Warper, as I said, it's a charisma-based full caster, or like full caster for Starfinder anyway. And it starts off with a key feature called Infinite Worlds. And so this is kind of your thing that's unique to you as a Witch Warper, as a spellcaster, is that you can trade in your spell slots for another effect. So you can expend a spell slot to do what's called an Infinite Worlds effect. And depending on what level of spell slot you expend is how powerful the effects of this are going to be. And what it is you just kind of create a small bubble of altered reality, projecting elements of parallel existences into your current universe. And there's 2 types. There's the environmental and instantaneous. The environmental often changes the landscape of the battlefield by, making it difficult terrain. Like maybe you're on a dirt road, you can like change it into mud, and all of a sudden now that road becomes difficult terrain. That's kind of like the environmental stuff. And then there's the instantaneous, is like summoning a quick effect, like pulling an explosion that's happening in another reality into your reality right on top of somebody. It's so cool. Some examples that like from the book that you can do. So if you were to expend a 3rd level spell slot, the options that you would have, the environmental would be you could cause the area to grant concealment against 1 sense: vision, emotion, life, scent, sound, thought, or vibration. So you can
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, just boom, like that whole thing is dark or
Right.
or like silenced or whatever.
So effective, man, when you think about it.
Yeah. And it's just like what I like about the Infinite Worlds stuff in the Witch Warper as a whole is you become a lot more utility oriented. You know what I mean? Like you are responding to your current environment, so you can adapt. You know, you don't have to have the perfect spell slot prepped. You have basically a silence or a difficult terrain spell at your disposal at any time. So you can use your spells known for all your other cool stuff, you know, like, I don't know, it's really neat. And then the instantaneous thing at 3rd level is that you create a disorienting event, such as bursts of flashing colors and loud sounds, or rain falling upward in spirals. Each creature within the area must succeed at a will save or be knocked off target for a number of rounds equal to the level of the spell expended. If the creature rolls a natural 1 on the save, it's also staggered for 1 round.
Dude, that's awesome.
Dude, so I've got to say, with the Witch Warper, like, yes, it's an interesting take on a utility class, but one thing that just strikes me and has struck me since I very first started to look at anything about it is that it is a smorgasbord of flavor. You can flavor these effects in any way that you want.
Yeah,
you know?
you're pulling from, it's called Infinite Worlds. You can pull from anywhere, you know, to flavor whatever the mechanical effect is. It's really a spellcaster for the imaginative, I think.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange for sure, you know. And then at 2nd level, you start to get paradigm shifts, which this is the Witch Warper's class feats, you know, like the theorems of the biohacker, right? This is the paradigm shift. You get this at level 2 and then every 3 levels thereafter. And it's just cool little abilities that you can do. Like, for example, a 2nd level paradigm shift is called Disrupt Creature. As a standard action, you can expend an unused spell slot to target a creature within 100 feet and swap in alternate physiologies or circuitry in its body in this version of existence, imposing the shaking condition for a number of rounds equal to the level spell slot expended. So, like, what you're doing is replacing the insides of your enemy with the insides of another existence. That is insane.
That's
my
God.
Level.
That's like
that's
some Rick Sanchez
level.
Type level shit.
Yeah, for real, for real.
What the fuck?
And then there's Flash Teleport, which is an 8th level paradigm, kind of something a little higher level to get a peek at. As a move action, you can spend 1 resolve point to teleport up to 30 feet. Doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. It's Misty Step, which is not a thing in Starfinder. You know, so that's huge. You could just boop. You can just teleport right out or right on top of somebody or whatever, you know. So you get those as you go. As I said, your Infinite Worlds powers up as you go. You get the spells, which the Witch Warpers have their own spell list, and I'll talk about some of the spells that are specific to them, but they also get access to some of the same spells that Mystics and Technomancers get, but they do have some class-specific spells that are really neat. At 6th level, you get a feature called Alternate Outcome, which is basically like luck. You can, as a reaction once per day, you can reroll 1 attack, roll, saving throw, ability check, or skill check. You know, if you rolled shitty, you can just boom, reroll. Here's what I really like about it though, is alternatively, you can expend a use of alternate outcome as a reaction to cause a critical hit against you or an ally within 100 feet to instead be a normal hit. You can like straight up negate somebody else's critical, like your enemy's critical hit.
Nice.
So again, like just manipulating the reality around you. And then it's one of its like prestige things. The 19th level deal is that you get 5 free paradigm shifts that you didn't already know. Just boom. You just get 5. And then those, you can use those for free a number of times equal to your charisma modifier.
Then you just are Doctor Strange.
Yeah, you're like a higher level than Doctor Strange at that point, I think. You know, it's really awesome. And then just to kind of wrap it up before we talk about it as a group, is there's some sample Witch Warper spells that came in the book. There's Acid Rain, which is a 5th level Witch Warper spell. It makes a 20-foot radius, 40 feet high area. And everything in that area, acid rain falls down on, does 3d6 acid damage per round. And it lasts a number of rounds equal to your level. And you must attempt a fortitude save when exposed to the spell. On a failure, the creature has a 50% mischance for its attacks while in the area.
Man, so you just douse a whole area with LSD.
Pretty much, dude. Pretty much. Also, when the spell ends, it causes a severe thunderclap. Like, when it wraps up, it just goes, creates this concussive effect that everybody who failed their fortitude saves are also staggered for a round.
God, that's amazing.
Oh, by the way, as a standard action, you can change the rain, causing it to deal a different type of energy damage, such as fiery sparks that deal fire damage or shards of ice that do cold damage.
Wow.
God damn,
But that's a 5th level spell, you know.
But can it make chocolate rain?
Chocolate rain? Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to play and see.
Sure, surely. Well, you can flavor anything any way you want with a witch warper,
You're
so
right,
surely
you're
you can
right.
do it.
You're right. You take 3d6 chocolate damage. You just got Hershey, dog. Okay, so something that you'll be able to do at level 1. I figured we wanted a spell that kind of shows you what you can do when you jump right in. There's an Enduring Worlds, which it directly interacts with your Infinite Worlds feature. So say you use a spell slot to get an Infinite Worlds effect going on. You can then cast Enduring Worlds, which will extend the effect of the Infinite Worlds action equal to your level. You know, so you can just kind of basically focus on your Infinite Worlds and make it last and become a little bit more solidified in the present. So that's a cool way to like give you a way to boost yourself in your core class ability. I thought that was a cool spell to add, you know?
Yeah, well, and if you get put in a position where you're like, I don't really have another option, but this one thing I was already doing is being effective.
Working. Yeah. Right. You can push it, you know? And I think that also gets better when, you know, you level up a little bit too, because you get more level 1 spell slots, right? But you still only have to use a level 1 spell slot to maybe extend it 4 rounds if you're level 4 or 6, you know what I mean? So it's a cool way to keep your Infinite Worlds synergetic with your growth, you know? And I really like that. And then here's a Big Daddy level 6 Witch Warper spell. Unspeakable Presences. 60-foot radius. You swap the space beneath your enemies with gnashing maws, tentacles, and claws of hideous beasts from another reality.
I knew it.
A foe in the
fucking
area
knew
takes
it.
4d6 damage per round and cannot move until it succeeds at a reflex saving throw against your spell DC, which it can attempt at the end of each of its turns. A creature that takes damage from this spell 3 rounds in a row must succeed at a fortitude save or be consumed by the unspeakable presences. That creature dies, and when the spell ends, its body and gear disappear into the realities from whence the presences came. This is a death effect. Only Miracle, Warp Reality, and Wish can bring back a creature slain this way.
So you summon eldritch horrors where the ground used to be.
Yes.
But then when it ends, they take the enemy with them back to their eldritch horror world.
Wow.
Correct.
Yeah. All the while
Jesus.
dealing a shit ton of damage in case they actually do get out. That's awesome.
Well,
So,
and
Witch Warper, y'all. That's fucking Witch Warper,
thing
man.
With Witch Warper is that it's infinite worlds. Like, if you, like, I can just see so many people that, you know, don't do podcasts and things like that using, you know, whatever. They could use things from our literal Earth, or they could use their favorite fandom and bring a fucking Sarlacc, you know, into the Starfinder realm. And there's nothing wrong with doing that because there are infinite worlds.
Well, I think Witch Warper is just such a good addition to Starfinder because Starfinder itself at its core is all about including everything. You know, if it's ever been a sci-fi thing, it's influenced in some way, kind of represented in a way in Starfinder, right? That's the big, you know, you look at the back of the core rule book at suggested reading and all the things that they drew influence from. It's everything. It's everything, you know? And so to have a class that embraces that and then boost it even more is just, it's awesome. I mean, I think the Witch Warper is such a cool new class. And, you know, you always worry when you bring in another spellcaster, you know, how is this spellcaster going to be different from a mystic or a technomancer, right? Like, what's going to make it any different than just reskins of the same spells, you know? But I think they did a really good job of making the Witch Warper specific spells not reskins and its own type of mechanical flavor, you know? On top of all the paradigm shifts and infinite world stuff, it's a really neat class. It's a different kind of spellcaster. And as you said, Heath, you can just have so much fun with it. You can pull anything from your imagination into the world, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I love it. Like, I'm gonna play a Witch Warper pretty soon, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, honestly, whenever I first heard about the Witch Warper, I mean, I was like, that looks fucking amazing, you know?
Yep, palimpsest. That's it, palimpsest.
Yeah, it's Josh just popped up palimpsest on our video feed. Yeah,
Palimpsest.
I just gave him the thumbs up.
Yep. All right, that's all I got on Witch Warper for now.
Yeah, so we have one more class, and I think you all know who's going to be addressing that. And when this book first came out, it's the class I was very obviously most interested in, and that's the Vanguard. John, tell us how fucking cool is the Vanguard?
Well, okay, first off, I do want to say that I like that Adam went ahead first because the class that he went with alters reality, all right, whereas the Vanguard utilizes a current reality, all right? But not like a Mystic or a Solarian, which is welcome. It's unique in its own way, okay? Now, the Vanguard is in the book, it's considered a nigh unstoppable force of nature, all right? So it is just brimming with cosmic energy, whose focus is on the nature of change and decay, all right? Another way of putting it, the universal law of entropy as a single constant. All right. So they harness that entropy and at their will to shape and control, you know, in combat. And so what they have is now this is actually Starfinder's first Constitution-based class. All right.
Yeah. And I love that. Yeah. I'm so glad we have one.
Exactly. I mean, I think they did a great job utilizing what was considered a secondary fill-in stat, so you don't die kind of a stat, you know?
It's so awesome. Yeah, it's so awesome to have a Constitution-based class, dude.
It's needed.
Well, and it's a hard one to flavor into a class, and I won't step on your toes, but I just want to say they did such a good job. This is what a Constitution-based class looks like, you know?
Oh, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that. So what they start off with from the class just by itself, before you introduce any other modifiers or race, they start off with 7 HP and 7 stamina. All right, which is pretty formidable, you know. So that kind of leads into a possible, are they going to be a tank scenario, you know? And so with that, they are proficient in light and heavy armor, along with shields, all right? Mind you, that's also the only class that actually starts with the proficiency in shields. All right.
Fighters get it retroactively, or soldiers get it retroactively.
Do they get it retroactively?
They do.
All right, then never mind. Okay, I wasn't sure about that. Okay, so it's part of the errata. Either way, it doesn't matter. Don't dim my shine. No,
I mean, to be fair, and this is a beef that I've had for a long time, is they just fucking brought shields into the future based game. You know what I'm saying? Right. Shields are the oldest goddamn thing you could have on a field of combat, and they just now figured out how to put shields in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What makes me survive better? Oh, a shield. Nah, we don't need that in the future. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I remember when we first started, that was something that I immediately was like, do we have shields? Where are shields?
I mean, well, also it brings into the question that one of the first images that you see in the core rulebook is a dwarf fighting a Vesk. And what does that dwarf have? He's got a space axe and a space shield. All right. So it's just kind of like, it's, you know, where's the shields? But Anyway, so let's go into what they are proficient as far as weapons. They are basic and advanced melee, which comes into play with their with some of their features as a Vanguard. They also have small arms as well, though. Okay, now their secondary is going to be a high dexterity, which is going to boost your AC. It's going to increase your chance to hit. So I mean, we all know dexterity is a god stat. It's great. Now, they start off, level 1, just starting off, they already have 3 things, which is great. The first thing is that we're going to talk about is Entropic Strike, okay? Entropic Strike, however you pronounce it. It's based on your Constitution modifier, because, of course, that's going to be your top stat. But you're not necessarily required to be a tank, okay? Now, you can also utilize Entropic Pool as well at level 1. It's where you accrue and spend entropic points through a variety of ways during combat. Your Entropic Strike is basically going to utilize these entropic points that is going to provide damage in the form of EAC, even though it is a physical bludgeoning type of, attack, but they also gain aspects at level 1. Okay, the first one at level 1 is where you're going to get a variety of some kind of improved combat maneuver, which is either going to be a +4 to either sunder, trip, reposition, bull rush, or disarm, along with +2 to a various skill. That could be perception, that could be culture, something, anything. Okay, I think those are that would be probably the most effective. Would probably be like trip, disarm, and bull rush. But it's nice to see that at level 1 without having to spend a feat.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, but it also begs the question: are these the combat maneuver specialists that we're lacking in Starfinder? Okay, because when you think about it, that CMD is fucking gnarly, dude.
+8. Dude.
I mean, CAC +8.
Oh
CAC +8.
It makes it so like. Why would anybody try to do a combat maneuver?
It's
but
daunting.
They're fun. They're cool. Like you want to do them, but like it doesn't make any sense to do them.
It doesn't.
Other than the Vanguard, you have to build towards them. Like you have to
Exactly.
You have to feed into it. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. And so it's such a welcome sight to actually see that as a already built-in feature that you're going to start off with. Now, if you think about it, +4 from a first level aspect and a weapon that supports that same combat maneuver, you already have +6 towards one of those. Okay, making it a CAC +2. That's much more manageable at a lower level.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's actually usable.
Exactly, and it's no longer daunting. So other things that they can do. So they can also mitigate. Go ahead.
I was just say that's going to just change up the pace of so many combats too, right?
Yes.
Like it's going to make those combats play differently because you have somebody who's really getting in there and tangling.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's going to be something that is going to flip the script on any combat maneuver when a Vanguard is in the play. So other things that they can do as you progress in the levels, they can also mitigate damage using entropic points, as well as gaining various Vanguard disciplines, which just furthers your utility in combat. And whether that be drawing the ire of creatures more effectively, directing energy near you to your shield, improving saving throws to disease or poison, dampening the damage you receive, etc. Basically they are designed to be utility, But at the same time, if a Vanguard discipline allows a saving throw to resist its effects, the DC is equal to half your Vanguard level plus your Constitution modifier. So raise that Constitution modifier as high as you can. Yeah. But what I thought was really cool about this is the various archetypes that they include. So they already try to give you some different ideas. Some of the ones that they include is the exhibition fighter. So you're an expert in more than one or more forms of melee combat, and if you wanted to, you could display your talents for money, choosing the gladiator theme.
Titanium Mike. through and through.
Yes.
So if you don't mind me interrupting for just a second,
Go for it.
Because the Vanguard was the class I was most excited about. I think that's apparent by my personality. And when I started reading about the Vanguard, I won't lie, at first I got mad. I got really irritated because I was like, oh, you put this shit out now? The class that is what Titanium Mike should be? You know, like after the fact? Because so many elements of this class line up with the idea of what Titanium Mike is. More, you know, not so much the mechanics of what Titanium Mike is in his current state, but so many of the things that they're good at that I want to be good at. Mm-hmm. It just lines up with the kind of character I want to play.
Sure, but I think that tension between what Heath wants to play and what Mike is able to do is a huge part of who Mike is as a character. Like, I really feel that tension has informed Mike's personality so much, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Titanium Mike is still dope as fuck. There's no
you like
getting around that is the thing. I absolutely love Titanium Mike, and at this point, I wouldn't change him for the world. Mm-hmm. Nothing that I've done, except maybe one or two things, would I alter in any way. But like, I just reading this, I was like, this is such a fucking Titanium Mike class, you know, like the actual class itself.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I'm sorry to derail you.
No. You're good. But other ones that they include are heavy infantry, which, again, like I mentioned earlier, doesn't have to be a tank. You can go ahead and just be this big-ass monstrosity wielding a two-hander. I mean, you know, con is just going to be your main stat instead of strength or something like that. So, I mean, you're going to be the boots on the ground. You're going to be holding that territory. You're going to be the most, you could be very dangerous in fighting, you know? You can also be a peacekeeper. Think about it, you know, law officer. You can also be a warden, such as a guardian, you know? Basically, you're going to be with shields prepared for offense and defense. Captain America, think about it, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's amazing. And you can go either way with strength or dex with this class, right?
Well, they say that that dexterity should be is more often the choice to go with for your secondary stat than strength, but I don't see why you couldn't, but I think you should prepare a little bit further ahead if you are going to go strength, in my opinion.
Sure. I think that's the case with strength characters in general, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's me on the Vanguard. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really neat class.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, I honestly, and this is not just, you know, kissing the book's ass, I really think every single one of these classes is unique, is interesting, differentiates itself from the existing classes, and really adds a lot to the lexicon of what Starfinder can be, and was much needed. Again, I think this completes Starfinder, not adds on to it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting to note that all these classes feel in line with the other classes. You know what I mean? Like, as far as they seem to fit that roster into that roster well, you know, because they do carve their own places, but they don't feel like particularly overpowered over the core classes or like out of place with kind of the aesthetic of the other classes. You know, we've said it before, they feel like they should have been there from the start. You know, this is the complete rule set for Starfinder now, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Well,
there's a lot more, right? God.
I mean, dude, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's just the classes.
Okay, so we've addressed the 3 new classes. They're all amazing. But there's a lot more in this book that we've got to address. And from this point on in the show, we've got to, and I've said this before and it hasn't worked, but I'm going to trust you guys to go with me. We've got to be a little bit rapid fire here. Okay?
We're going long, Heath. We're going long.
We'll try.
Yeah.
Well, we're trying.
I'm trying to avoid going long so hard.
I know. Well, there's a lot in here, but we'll do our best.
All right, let's go.
So the next thing that I wanted to address, there are a lot of new themes. Okay, and I know everyone doesn't have one, but just quickly, I wanted to, if you had looked over any themes that you thought were interesting, just let me know. What theme did you think was cool that was new?
Well, I'm messing around with the sensate theme. I actually have a character that is a sensate, And I think it's just really cool because the whole thing is about tapping into your just want to experience new things. It's all about reveling in new sensations and new experiences. And it's just being all about discovering the unknown, right? So this is a +1 con to con theme. Perception is your theme skill, and you get knowledge checks reduced for culture against artistic innovation and traditions, and life checks against identifying drugs and medicinals, poisons, and food.
Sorry, I think it's appropriate. It's a +1 con because you'll take whatever drug and eat whatever food in the world.
Yeah, man, you're just not, you're unafraid of trying new things, so I think a +1 to con is good. I won't go into much detail I just want to tell you the names of the features that you get and let you kind of assume what they might be. Charming Curiosity at 6th level, Flash of Courage at 12th, and Sensation Junkie at 18th.
I'm glad it's Junkie is in the name.
Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
it's kind of the fear factor theme. You know what I mean? Like a sensei would be on fear factor, no problems.
Well, a sensei would win fear factor.
Yeah, right. Would kill it. That's what I got on themes.
Anybody
There's so
else?
many good ones.
Yeah, I've got one. The Noble Scion. Basically, you're a fancy pants bougie person. Come from a rich family. Seems like it's tailored to fit with like an envoy. Gives a +1 to charisma at character creation. And lowers DC check for culture checks to recall knowledge about, and this is not from the book, but fancy things. Like aristocracy, powerful families, prominent personalities, and general etiquette. So it lowers the DC of those things by 5. At 6th level, you get, and I just love this, you get a weekly stipend of 100 credits that cannot be spent on anything but fancy stuff.
You get daddy's money with a caveat,
Yes.
right?
Right. So it can't be spent on, as the book puts it, permanent goods or items. It's purely for stuff like fancy meals, better lodging, higher grade transportation. I mean, Noble Science got to live that bougie life.
That's right, dude. You gotta. That's for
at 12th
treating guests,
At 12th level, you get a personal retainer. So you have a secretary, a butler.
You have a butler. You have a fucking butler.
Oh, that's great.
They don't go on adventures with you, but they attend to business back home, deliver messages, and maintain your home living quarters. And then the last thing they get is you can spend you regain a resolve point by spending 10 minutes socializing at an upper class social function like a gala. And same with being the focus of attention at an upscale bar or dance club for 10 minutes. You can get 2 resolve points back per day that way.
You're mechanically an extrovert.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it.
It's great.
Cool.
That's great.
I mean, there are some great themes. Check out the rest. There are a bunch of them. There really are. So next I wanted to move on to alternate class features. And this one is really important. It changes mechanically how classes work. Like that's a very big deal. Somebody want to go first here?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I was digging around into the com and I found one that I thought was pretty interesting. That was the Aesthetic Warrior. Okay, so I mean the Aesthetic Warrior, it's basically where you're studying fighting styles that your thought lost to the gap. It's the art of ancient civilizations, where the study and use of relic weapons and battle gear. Now what's interesting about that though is that you gain an improved unarmed strike as a bonus feat, which switches it from being an archaic mode of dealing damage to lethal damage for your unarmed strikes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. You're at 3rd level, you gain weapon specialization with unarmed strikes, so it's further going into using that. So you can already kind of get a monkish feel for this, Also like if you're ever disarmed, perfect for that. And also allows where if you can already add 1.5 your character level to your unarmed attack rolls, what you can do is you can block, grapple, and stun weapon and use stun weapon special properties to your unarmed strikes.
Whoa.
This is all for soldiers. This is for soldiers, okay? Now, this replaces a soldier's proficiency with heavy armor and heavy weapons. I thought that was pretty cool.
So it very much is the monk, though. I mean, that's monk like crazy. And I know there's something else for monk, key adept, where they actually get key later on. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Well, I looked into Solarian, of course. And I'll real quickly say they got ranged solar motes. You can be a ranged Solarian.
Finally.
Now. Yes. You get to choose cold or fire damage. It's treated like a small arm. It does 1d4 damage, increases by a d4 at 6th, 9th, and 12th, and then every level after. I think that's pretty cool. When you get that weapon specialization at level 3, normally for small arms, it only adds half your level, but with the solar flare, you get to add your full level to the damage. So that's pretty neat. And it interacts with any revelations that were printed in the core rulebook that say that are melee weapons. Your solar flare can do those. So they're treated like the melee solar stuff. So they have access to the same types of revelations. And then they dropped a whole bunch of new stellar revelations for the Solarians in there. Really expanded that Solarian class. One day I'll play one. I'm really looking forward to it. But so many cool things. Blade in the Night, Solar Inferno.
You'll get there, buddy. You'll get there.
Cool.
One day.
It's cool stuff. Yeah,
One
day.
of these days.
Okay, so I looked into an alternate class feature for the Operative, which I've never played an Operative, but I thought this was very cool. It is called the Stunt and Strike. Stunt and Strike.
Operative strike.
But what it does is you replace your trick attacks with the stunt and strike abilities, and you basically can, when you're on the offensive, do stunts. And stunts are based on different skill checks. So it's different for every operative based on what skills they're good at. And they really can utilize different skills to be able to do different things. For example, an athletics-based operative can do a Mighty Leap, which is you can use a stunt when you go to attack somebody, and if you trigger that, you get a fly speed for 1 turn of 30 feet till the end of turn.
That's really cool.
It's just amazing.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
And it's really diverse because there's all the different skills have different stunts, numerous different stunts. I think athletics has 4 different ones. Mm-hmm. So it's cool. You can build that however you want to build it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much here, guys. I wish we could talk about all of it, but they put so much in there, not just with the new classes, but for our existing classes. They expanded those and gave you so much more options to mess with and play with. It's gosh,
For sure.
I promise we're not being bought by Paizo here. We just love the book this much,
Yeah.
like it's so good. It's awesome.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm sorry to do it to you, but we got to move on. All right.
All right.
All right. So I had been reading through the book, and I came across half-elves, and I think half-elves got treated really well in this book. So
you mean they gave racial bonuses and new options too?
Yeah, they got all kinds of stuff. So
my gosh.
I wanted to cover a couple of topics in a row just based on the half-elves. Okay? So since we've been talking about alternate ability adjustments, alternate racial features, and things like that throughout this book, I wanted to spotlight that race. And there's such a good example of how this book ties together flavor, lore, and mechanics all in one package, So an alternate ability adjustment for half-elves, normally they get a straight +2 to whatever stat they choose because of their half-elf versatility kind of thing. However, in the Com, you can choose to give them +2 dex, +2 intelligence, and -2 con to heavily reflect their elven ancestry if they take after the elven parent or were raised among elves. So they can really lean into the elf side of that statistically. They also get an alternate racial trait, which I just thought was amazing because I've wanted to play a Riforian for so long. They can be, instead of half human, half elves, they can be half Riforian, half elf. So you have
Is it Riforian specific or any race?
No, it's half elf specific.
Right, but like is it on? Can they
the other half?
The other half?
No, it's just Riforian.
Oh, that's cool,
Interesting.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, because apparently there are big elf settlements or half elf settlements on Triaxis. So you have the half elf and Riforian subtypes, but you lose the human subtype, which makes sense.
Right.
You gain, because you're a Riforian, resistance to cold and fire. And in extreme cold or heat, you attempt fortitude saves once per hour instead of once every 10 minutes.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That is
and
awesome.
And flavor wise, you can choose to be a summerborn or a winterborn Riforian as far as how you look. So that's fun.
Really
cool
too.
Okay, but the thing that I was really, really excited about is that just half elves get a new soldier option called squad fighting style. Okay? Half elves epitomize the cooperative spirit of this fighting style. Okay? And at level 1, they get coordinated aim, which gives you, as a bonus feat for free, the coordinated shot feat, which means allies get +1 to hit targets you threaten. Allies get this bonus even if you're in the way of the target. If you're giving the target cover, they still get the bonus.
Wow.
Yeah. At level 5, you get quick backup. As a full action, you can move up to twice your speed and attack an enemy, threatening an ally once per 10-minute rest. You can move twice your speed and attack all at once.
That's
insane. At level 9, you think that's insane. Mystic Swap. As a move action, I'm sorry, I had 2 shots recently. Mystic Swap. As a move action, spend 1 resolve to teleport, switching places with an ally within 60 feet.
Wow.
Yeah,
level 13, Precise Flanker. You and flanking allies get an extra +1 to hit. Also, enemies flanked like this who use guarded step provoke opportunity attacks.
I see a half elf, a half Riforian Vanguard in Heath's future.
Yeah, you better fucking believe it, baby. Level 17, this is the real kicker. Share training is what it's called. You grant an adjacent ally 1 of 3 pre-selected combat feats you have for 1 round as a reaction.
Oh, you get a sideboard.
You just give one of your allies next to you a fucking combat feat that you have for a round.
That's incredible, dude.
Yeah. So that's fucking amazing. And half elves got treated right. I've never been a half elf guy, but I was just enamored by how they approached it in this book.
Yeah, they really gave him some love, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so archetypes. All right, we're going to be real quick about this. You guys have any archetypes you're interested in? There's a lot of them. Please, listeners, look into them. I know we're rushing through this.
They're amazing, actually. I've got one real quick. Just for archetypes, there is one that's called the Power Armor Jockey. Just real quick, it is just those that want to get the best performance possible out of any suit of powered armor that they wear. It's gonna basically, these guys are just real junkies for power armor. They visit all the different like armor manufacturers. They learn different construction techniques, how to their own field repair. And they swap ways that they've improved their armor. Basically, you can improve your speed. You can improve the amount of upgrades you can wear in your armor. You can improve everything from its strength score to its damage. You can spend in a resolve point to that whenever you take hit damage, it actually causes your powered armor to take the same amount of damage instead. Now, only hit point damage is transferred to your armor. Your stamina points are depleted as normal, but you take any other effects of whatever harmed you, such as a critical hit effect.
Yeah,
it's honestly fucking amazing. Yeah.
Mech warrior, baby.
Yeah, well, empowered armor had been, it had a little bit of a bad reputation, so this is a good way to offset that.
Exactly.
Yeah, if that's something you want to do, you can definitely lean into it and get it. I had one, I'm not going to go through like all of it, but it's called The Fixer. And I just love that they gave you an opportunity to play the wolf from Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
As a character.
Yes.
Like, so that's what it is. I mean, it's a fixer. So your whole thing is that you can give up a couple of your class features to really lean into being the guy that gets called to come up and clean up a mess. You know what I mean? Like, so let's say you're playing an evil campaign or a less than lawful campaign at the very least. Like, this is such a cool theme for you to be able to be like really, really good at covering tracks or helping criminals out of jams and making them owe you one. You know, like you can make the mob owe you because you're the best in the biz.
Because you got rid of a crime, right? You got rid of their criminal
You get a
activity.
specialized toolkit called a cleaner's kit. You get all this cool stuff. You get cleaner at 6. So it starts at 6 levels. So you have to already kind of been around the block a little bit before you can even take this archetype, you know? So you can't even take it until you're 6th level. But you get cleaner at 6th level. You get information fixer at 9th level. And then you get tap into the criminal network at 12th level. And then you get what's called dark rep at 18th level. It's a lot of cool mechanics that all kind of center around diplomacy and like being part of the criminal world. And if that's the type of campaign you're playing, it just would be so incredible for that. It's really
yet another unique flavor option that really gives you just a ton of different ways to play the game. Yeah. So I have an archetype that I was really interested in. This one's kind of unique. It doesn't get its first ability until level 9. Okay. It's called an instructor, and being that I work in education, I couldn't help but be interested in this. And at level 9, it gets mastery, and twice per day you can just take 10 with a chosen skill, even if the situation would normally prevent you from doing so.
That's cool.
If you
cool.
choose to do that, you can expend a use of this feature to lower its DC by 5.
nice.
Even cooler.
And then it increases the number of charges as you get to different checkpoints, right?
Sure.
So at level 12, you get Efficient Mentor. You can aid more quickly. Full action aids take standard actions. Standard action aids take move actions. Move action aids take swift actions. But if you choose not to take that swifter way of aiding, you get a +4 to your aids.
Wow.
To all of your aids. Okay,
That's awesome.
And then at level 18, you get Legendary Master. Twice per day, take 20 on a skill check. And you notice the possible consequences of a skill check before they occur. You can stop, deal with the problem, and keep on taking that fucking 20.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. One day I want to dive into archetypes. That's such a new thing for us, and I don't think that we've like really explored that as a group of players, and it's just such a neat thing. I think if I ever get to play my Solarian, I'm probably going to take an archetype with that.
You'll take 5 different archetypes, right?
So I've got one to go, real quick, just one specific thing with it. The medic archetype at 2nd level, like genuinely the biggest thing you can get at 2nd level is that any healing that you do that would heal HP and overheals goes into stamina healing.
Oh, shit. Oh, finally. Finally. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to skip over the 9th level stuff. 18th level, within 1 minute of a creature dying, as long as its body wasn't destroyed, disintegrated, or ruined in some way, you can spend 1 minute of uninterrupted work to revive a creature at 1 HP.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's great.
That's amazing. Well, and that stamina versus HP has been such a hard barrier for so long, and to be able to cross that bridge is a very big deal. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the way that I read it, if they're at full HP and you use an HP healing thing, that's overhealing them. It bumps up their stamina.
Yeah.
That's great.
You get to choose how you want to do it. Okay, so look, I want to say this. We're going to move on to feats, and I was stunned by feats in this book. There are well over 70 feats in this book.
I know. I haven't even wrapped my head around all the feats in the core rulebook.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
You've got 70 plus to deal with in this book. And
That's
not even counting the new feats that are associated with particular races.
Yeah. Well, I did look through them, Heath. I did look through them, even though I was overwhelmed. And I found one that just synergizes so well with Witch Warper that I wanted to spotlight it real quick. If you're a Witch Warper, I feel like you got to take this one at level 5. It's called Frightful Display. Okay? You have to have a charisma of 15, and you have to have 5 ranks in Intimidate to take it, and you have to have the ability to cast spells. Okay? So this sounds already Witch Warper-y, right? Here's the deal. You unnerve your spell's victim with odd gestures, cackling laughter, or other effects. And as a reaction, when a creature fails a saving throw against a spell you cast this round, you can attempt an Intimidate check to demoralize that creature.
Yeah.
Like as a reaction.
Wow.
Like demoralize, like debuffs them hard, like makes them like -2s and stuff like that. I mean, so if you're a spellcaster, you just get this as a free reaction. You're not going to be taking opportunity attacks. You're going to be out of range of doing any opportunity attacks. So here's something to use your reaction with. Boom. Like I bring in this crazy alternate reality and I'm cackling madly with my own power, and it intimidates you on top of whatever it is that I just made you fail your save on. Like, it's so cool, dude. What a cool feat.
I feel like our friends in the Hideous Laughter podcast would really appreciate that.
Yeah, Frightful Display should be the name of your video cast, Hideous Laughter. You heard it here first.
So I've got one that kind of fits in with stuff like what Fel was doing early on with the grenades. The feat is called Cook Grenade. As a full action, you can draw a grenade and make a ranged attack with it. If you do so, the grenade's reflex save DC is increased by 2. If your attack roll is a natural 1, and the D20 actually comes up as a 1, the grenade instead detonates at a randomly determined grid intersection of your space. So you can pull the pin, hold it, full action, full 6 seconds, and then throw it so they've got less chance to get out of the way with that reflex save, or it could blow up in your fucking hand.
It's just chaos. It's just fucking chaos. You know what? You said that's related to Fel. You're not wrong. I feel like it's just another way that Fel could fuck Titanium Mike with a grenade,
Exactly.
Well, he'd also be fucking himself at the same time with it this way.
Well, he would have earned it, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I want to bring up one feat that I saw, and I think there's a way you could build if you had a charisma wisdom based Witch Warper. You could maybe do this once you get a few levels in. It's called Cosmic Truth. It's a prereq of Wisdom 15, Bluff 5, Mysticism 5, okay? But as a standard action, you spend 1 resolve to force one creature within 30 feet to attempt a will save or be confused for 1d4 rounds.
Oh, whoa, dude.
And
that's
confused, you roll like a D100 to determine the effects, and within a certain range, they attack themselves.
Oh, all sorts of bad shit can happen when you're confused. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's another very Witch Warper type deal. I love it. There's so much in here. There's so
I thought you would like that
in
one.
here. Yeah, I didn't even see that one.
So look, all right, let's go to equipment. This is gonna be very quick. I think there's only 1 or 2 of us that have equipment. I'm gonna start this time, and I'm gonna say the fucking punch gun. Okay? The most Titanium Mike shit in the world. I'm not even going to give you the description I wrote out, because what I'm going to say is the one picture I've ever seen of a punch gun was a glove that had 2 shotgun shells affixed to the top of it, and you hit somebody in the mouth with 2 shotgun shells. And they go off.
Oh my god.
That's a shell knuckles.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Yeah.
But I looked, and there's like 5 different versions of the punch gun that I've seen so far.
Wow.
And they can be needlers as well. They can be for biohackers can use punch guns.
Oh, that's cool too.
Yeah, so you could make a melee biohacker.
Oh my god, I want to play all the classes. I want to do it all.
Yeah, we can.
But no, I came across one item that I had to point out because the visual image of this is just so funny to me. So it's the regeneration serum. It's a brownish liquid that can be injected into the stump of a lost limb or a ruined organ. It regrows the limb, but
Like
you have
my
to
liver?
Yeah.
You'd have to find it, but yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it regrows the limb, but you have to eat like a lot. And by that, I mean like a full day's worth of food every hour for a full 24 hours.
So if you had your leg cut off at a fucking Arby's, you'd be okay.
We got the meat.
Or rather, a Golden Corral. There you go.
Wow.
Golden Crow, you'd be golden.
Oh.
I'm not mad at that joke, Josh. This is rare. I'm not mad at that joke.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
But no, I just imagine it'd be like Deadpool's limb regenerating or something, like this creepy tiny little baby limb coming back out and just weaseling its way back.
But
to
you're
full
fucking just smashing heavy ass food all day long to do it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like three meals an hour.
Yeah, that wins. That's so cool.
Look, so we could go on about this book forever. You can tell we're already in a rush because we have so much we want to say about it. We've already cut off a few things. But look, this book is amazing. It really completes the game. You need to get it if you care about Starfinder, if you care about your fucking characters. Get this book. It really is worth it. That said, we've gotten through what we're going to talk about in the character operations manual. I think we still have to get to listener questions.
Oh, yeah.
The people that really matter here are the listeners, right?
Yeah, so it's time for listener questions. And in this already supersized TOMTalks, I've got quite a few for y'all this evening.
Hold up. All right, carry on.
Now you're ready. Now you're ready. I've got two that are actually character operations manual related. All right. So the first one comes from these all come from Discord. So if you're listening to this and you want to get your listener questions on the air, I suggest you join our Discord. This comes from New Shio, and he asks, are there any changes, retroactive or otherwise, that you all would make to your characters with the options in the character operations manual? Also, is there any chance that Mike will be picking up a riot shield at some point?
I'll go ahead and take this one. I'll field this question. The changes I might make are there's a new theme in the character operations manual called athlete. So fuck yeah, I'd be an athlete instead of a mercenary, although both work equally for his backstory, which is great. And the other thing I would change is that at level 1, I would get a fucking riot shield.
Yeah, you'd be starting with that. Yeah.
So yes to the second part of the question.
What about you, Josh? Is there anything you'd change for Fel? Would you stick with the exocortex?
Yeah, I was not really feeling what they did with the weapon specialization or armor specialization or experimental weapon, experimental armor that they did with the mechanic. Just for the flavor of Fel. Like, they're cool in their own right, but they're not good for the character.
Yeah, I mean, Fel is definitely always going to be an exocortex mechanic. That's absolutely who he is, you know. Is there
I mean, there may be some feats that I'd be interested in, but nothing specific comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean, because even the theme you took, we found from another book that was like so perfect and specific.
Yeah, Cyberborn's perfect
right,
for him.
Right. What about you, John? Anything you'd do different with?
As far as Xeno, not really. I mean, there's the easily augmented, which seems like that would be pretty cool. Where you would just get you would sub out the upgrade slot for a cybernetic augmentation. But I mean, other than that, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that with that question, New. With that question, New. I mean, we built these characters with what was available for us, and when we build our characters, I think if I can speak for all of us, is that the choices we make inform the characters. And so, there's not going to be a Xeno that isn't built the way that Xeno is built, because all those decisions were, whether it was mechanical or not, they're symbiotic with the actual development of the character. You know what I mean? So like, it's hard to say that like, well, he'd be a different kind of android because he's not. You know, he's not. Now, I think it's likely we would have maybe made different characters altogether if we had had these options to start
available
with.
to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very good chance of that.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for the question. Our next com-related question comes from Commodore. With the com out now and the pet rules in Alien Archive 3, what niches do you feel are still underserved for character concepts? Do you think that there is a space that's still being unfilled?
This one's tough for me because they did make an adjustment to make it to where you could play something closer to a monk. And you know as well as anybody, I've played like 3 monks already.
Yeah, monk is like one of your
5e.
favorite classes.
Right.
Yeah, so I really, I don't think it's fair to say that I don't think what they've done is enough, but part of me wonders, is it enough to truly be a monk? You know?
Well, I think that they have filled that niche pretty well in this, but as far as anything that's still underserved, it's so difficult to actually say that because there's just so much that they really got right with this book. You know, I mean, like before this book, I would contend that with Grappler, for example, you know, or anything related to improved combat maneuver, but that can be through Soldier or Vanguard, you know. Yeah. So whichever one's better, don't know.
Well, and even like Bard was one of my first thoughts, but they actually did add things so you can have more of a Bard flavor and mechanical flavor in this book.
And barbarians and all the other kind of more classic feel that you would get from Pathfinder, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Every time I think of like a archetype, and I don't mean in the Starfinder sense of the word, but I mean in the literary sense of the word, you know, like, you know, you could have that kind of gunslinger, like rebel type, you know what I mean? But that's basically an operative, you know?
Or
you can build that with an operative.
There are soldier builds for that. I actually saw today, and I thought, I don't mean to waste time, but I saw today where somebody built the Mandalorian Mando in Starfinder.
That's pretty cool.
Like in the last couple of days.
I just can't think of anything. I mean,
nothing jumps out.
Listen, if you're going to play a game that's all centered around being on a starship, like a Star Trek type game, there might be a class that's a little bit more like specific towards being really good at starships. You know what I mean? I don't even know what that would look like, but like fleshing out like the idea of being a captain of a starship as a class, you know what I mean? Like, but that's not what the game is, you know, like the game is exploring a bunch of different stuff, feet on the ground, you know? So listen, I'm not a professional game designer either. So part of what makes this book so good is that they filled some spaces that I didn't even know needed to be filled. And then like, it just seems like it naturally should have been a part of it from the get-go, you know? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, as it stands now, there's so much that you can do, and I don't know what another class would look like. You know what I mean? I don't know what's a class that you could bring in that's not gonna step on, you know, maybe some version of the Oracle, but even that's kind of covered in Mystic with a like particular connection, you know.
Well, and there's even rules now for like races and stuff that are like shape changers and stuff like that. You know, like there's a lot that really, really has been covered in one way or another.
I mean, I will say, how about this? And I think Heath, you'll love this. The idea of a summoner Pokemon, like a class that's built around being a Pokemon trainer. Well, that kind of flavor, you know, like of being like a summoner, like a true pet class, like where having a pet is part of the class, where like summoning and all that kind of stuff is maybe that's what's missing. If you know, if you're at another spellcaster, you know, something that focuses on
kind of like a spellcaster drone mechanic.
I will say there are I do think there may be a deficiency in pure summoners, that all you do is summon something. Mm-hmm. But even Witch Warper, when I was looking into it, has access to summon creatures, and you get a choice of between 4 different creatures that you can summon at whatever point, you know?
Sure, but I'm talking about something that, like, okay, this is what you're, like...
You're just summoning.
Really good at it. Yeah. Okay, good question, Commodore. Thanks for that. And now we're going to get into some general questions, and I've got a few for you guys. And this is going to kind of take us back into Aeon Throne, right? Onto the cast. BioLucker asks, during the Prison Break arc, being so close to die in there multiple times, did anyone have a backup character? If someone died, what kind of class would the next character be? So I think I'm more interested in the first part of that question. Did any of you have a backup in case a character died?
I mean,
nope.
Did anybody even come close to dying?
Says
fucking John, right?
Yeah, let me ask you first, John. I mean, because you were almost dead for almost 3 episodes, right? So, like, you, if anybody had time to contemplate having a backup character, did you have something in mind?
I was drumming up actually an operative.
Okay.
If I wanted to be a little bit, but. This was before, mind you, this was before the character operations manual came out.
Sure.
But I was thinking something along an operative. I was thinking maybe like a former Aslanti, former, but I wasn't quite sure with that. It was still kind of like really just kind of baking in the old noodle, but, that's pretty much all I had.
Well, it was definitely on your mind.
It was.
John texted me a couple times, like, okay, well, like,
quite a few
times. Really, like, it would always start with, I really don't want Zeno to die. Like, he would always lead the conversation with that. But if he does, here's some things I'm thinking about. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
What about, Josh, you said you didn't have anything. Heath, is there, what happens if Mike dies?
So
what happens if Mike dies?
Hear me out. I have a strong stance on this, okay? For a very long time, I have refused to contemplate or start building a backup character for Mike until he dies, because he will never die.
Okay. Is that your answer?
Yes.
All right.
It's been working for you, though, man.
I won't. I know, but
I
seriously,
refuse to make another character because my character hasn't died.
In all seriousness, aside from my braggadocious nature, I will not start making a new character until Mike dies. I will not do it.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, just more fuel for the fire. Okay. Yeah. Bipolar Pop-Tart has 2 questions. And the first question I like, but it might be tough to answer, but I want to put it out there. So now that Titty Mike, hey, look, he called you that.
I'm just going to ignore that. Carry on.
I support it. So now that Titty Mike has had his first bit in the spotlight, what type of minigame would each of you like to design for your character to play through?
I've got one.
Oh, you do? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I do. Dating.
Oh, well, we kind of did that a little bit, right?
No, like with actual mechanics. There could be rules for like wooing, bonuses for awesome puns. If you play it right, could end in smooches.
Okay.
I won't lie, man.
I'm honestly, I'm kidding though. I'm kidding. I'm completely kidding. What I'd really like is an actual like hacking mini game.
A hacking mini game, yeah, that would be cool. Like, there's got to be a way to make that something that a little bit more than just a dice roll, right?
Cool. More than computers checks over and over and over.
Right.
I don't know if it'd be like a separate combat encounter type thing, or I'm thinking like jacking into a system and moving through it Tron style or something would be really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Well, and there have been lots of like video games that have had hacking mini games where you like move around puzzle pieces and stuff like that.
The BioShock
connect these pipes correctly.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. What about you, John? Do you have anything?
Gosh, no, not at all for that.
Yeah, that's tough because it's
build a drift beacon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Teleport us back over to Absalom Station.
I know. I know. I already got one, but I do have another one.
We don't care. You already got one.
Oh, okay, well, I'll just go fuck myself then.
There it is.
It's been a while. I've been holding it back.
Yeah.
No, but we've done a lot of flavor, like training in the gym and stuff like that. And I think that would be interesting to actually have a mini game for, is when you're doing that downtime training.
Well, actually, they added some of that into the character operations manual. Something we didn't even talk about is a whole chapter on downtime activities that have mechanical bonuses, and training in the gym is one of these downtime activities.
Son of a bitch, man. I've been reading this book for 5 days and I'm still surprised.
Yeah. I want to go back to Josh's answer because we have a question from Porter Paladin. And Porter Paladin asks, NPC romance. Discuss past experiences. What do you think it brings to the game? And we're going to answer this for you, Porter. But you have to go back and listen to the scene. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. So, no, but what talk about it a little bit. Romance in your TTRPG games. Is that something that should be there, shouldn't?
I mean, I think it can have its place if it's done tastefully. I'm not about erotic roleplay in any form or fashion. That's not something that I want to do with a group of friends.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, but you got a beautiful voice, dude.
Well, though I am not above going on a date with a cuttlefish. You know, like if the way that I see it is, if it adds to the story and if it adds to character development and it potentially explores a side of a character that you would never see otherwise, it's absolutely worth doing.
Well, I think the first thing is, and this is assumed at our table, which is probably why we didn't say it, but like, it's making sure that the people you're playing with are on board with it. You know what I mean? Like, if your table is uncomfortable with doing romance, then you shouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's you want to make sure that your table isn't put off by it, right? Now, if everybody's with it, then yeah, I think there's a way to do it, and there's a line that you can come up to without it being like explicit or gratuitous. You know what I mean? Like, if it serves the character, then why not do it? So
to that point a little bit, I think, I don't think it's all that common to have like real full-on romance in anything less than a truly, romantic, grand love kind of sense. But I think, a lot of the games we've played in, there have been elements of someone being in love with someone else, star-crossed lovers, things like that, but it's always been at a distance. It's always been part of the mystery of the game. It's always been a part of someone's backstory, something like that. And I think those can be very powerful elements in a person's backstory, in character development, things like that. But I mean, you're really gonna run into some challenges with trying to just full on have dating simulators / erotic roleplay if you're not, like you said, if your if your party is not like all about that,
Right. I mean, you need to feel your table out and know where their edges are, But, like, I don't know. I just think that there's not a reason not to do it if it adds to the story, and...
Well, I mean, in Fell's case with Half Red, I mean, it was kind of one of those things that, like, it was not planned. It was not something that, and Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not something like, hey, one of these characters is going to go on a date with one of these shopkeepers.
Yeah, no, that's not in
that's
the
all
book.
she is.
That's not in the book.
That's all that character is. And the color changey stuff, it just kind of naturally flowed, happened, and we rolled with it. And I had a lot of fun with it.
Well, and the thing is, it comes down is you got to trust your fellow players at the table. Like it's hard to pull off effectively if you don't like have kind of an easy relationship with the people you're playing with. I think that we're able to kind of dive into it without any extra stress because we just know each other so well and like we know where our boundaries are just inherently and how are we as this group of players going to pass up the opportunity to do a date that's only communicated in emojis, like particularly because of just how emojis have replaced communication in our world today. It's such a good thing to funny gag to do. So anyway,
yeah,
that's where we stand on it, Porter. Thank you for the question. And we're going to move on to Bipolar's second question real quick. What other animal would you like to have uplifted, and what would be their ideal class?
A possum and an envoy, because they're just so damn charming.
A possum and what was the second?
Possum.
I'm sorry.
Envoy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that would be their ideal class. Yeah.
Their class, yeah.
All right, Heath.
So, look, man, I know Yosoki are already a thing, but I have 3 answers, okay? And they are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay? I need some uplifted turtles.
They are in the Archive 3. You can be a turtle.
I bought 1 and 2, not 3. Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I said, Yosoki are already a thing. I want biker mice from Mars as well. Like big, huge-ass mice on bikes. And then street sharks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
Street
sweet.
sharks, dude.
Yeah. John?
Minotaur? Do they have Minotaur in the Alien Archives?
Yep.
Well, that's the only one I had.
So they're just
that
an
was pretty
uplifted
cool.
bull, a full-on bull.
Yeah, I want an uplifted duck. I want to be a mighty duck.
Mighty Duck.
Mighty
Okay.
Duck.
We're just bringing our entire childhoods into
Yeah,
this.
we're going to go
Oh my
all in.
god.
Okay, and our final listener question of the evening comes from Pukeko. How do you feel the Starfinder system captures the high-tech feel of distant future tech?
That's a very tough question because, we aren't living in the future, for one. So we have a long history of sci-fi predicting what will come in the future, and that history has been both incredibly accurate in some ways and incredibly inaccurate in others. So, I mean,
a flying car.
to be a game like this, I mean, again, to sound like a fucking shill, like, I think they kill it. I think they have so many fucking options for whether it be, biohackers having newfangled ways to address old school, medicinal disciplines and stuff like that to, teleportation, stuff like that. Like, I mean, we made the point earlier that this game bases all of its stuff on all of the sci-fi that came before it, so how could it possibly do any better? It's read everything, between all the people that work in the company.
Exactly. It's got that secondhand knowledge. I mean, you're talking about equipment, augmentations, upgrades, all of these things that all just fit so well into their own niche as far as part of the universe of Starfinder. But in whole, they borrow some from cloth from other sources. Straight
I
up.
mean, it comes down to is that we're playing the damn game because of the feeling that it captures. I mean, that's why we're drawn to it. Like, that's the whole reason we're playing it, is because it gives us a chance to play with future tech, and feel like we're playing with it. That's why we love it. That's why
It's my number one. I love it.
Yeah, this is easily my favorite tabletop role-playing game just because of the setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And because it does such a good job at bringing all of those things in together.
Yeah, because they borrow so well from a genre I love so
Absolutely.
much.
Exactly.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, so look, we got to get out of here, but Adam, help me out. We're going to back and forth. We got to give you a few thank yous, right?
Okay.
So Jason, off the bat. Jason from What Do You Do Pods.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. For sure. As always, you are the shining beacon of the podcast community. For me, I want to thank Alex Giordano. Because of the artwork that he has given us so far and what's to come. So our kind of resident artist right now. Thank you for what you're doing.
All right. Hideous Laughter Podcast. Our brothers and sisters in arms, excuse me.
Yes, indeed. Cheers and shout out to them. I want to give a shout out to Valhaven just because, I still love my bag so much and I kind of want to get another one.
Shake that, baby.
So,
shake that dice bag, baby. Every single person on the Discord, I know that's a blanket term, but like the Discord itself has been our lifeblood.
For all of us, thank you so much. Like, truly, from Southern Tomfooleries, the bottom of all of our hearts, thank you, Discord, for being such an awesome community and just making us feel so loved and appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Kevin MacLeod for all his music, yo.
Okay. I want to thank Adam Kelly for his music.
Hey. Gosh, we could go on all night. I'm sure I'm forgetting some folks, but just everybody who's listened and been a part of the show and contributed, thank you.
For real. It means a lot to us. I think most of them are covered by the Discord, which is why I did that.
Yeah, that's good.
Look, we love you. Thanks for tuning in to another Tom Talks. It was a great time. We went long for you guys. We didn't cover half of what we wanted to, but we'll see you fucking next time.
We'll see ya.
We'll see you.
We'll see you. We'll see you.
We'll fucking see ya.
Blah, 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 blah.
Wrong theme.
No, it's just the one I like.
Okay.